No, I don't want to be here. I would much rather be at home, scrolling mindlessly and senselessly through an infinite number of cat videos on the internet, while my dopamine receptors get fried. Or listen to a nice, calming Frank Ocean song, instead of standing in a two-piece suit and talking to a crowd full of bored and annoyed adults who rightfully want me to end my talk as quickly as I possibly can. So, of course, it makes much more sense to pick the option that I actually enjoy, right? Because living in the moment, that is what matters. But what happens once my phone runs out of charge? What happens once the music fades? Forget about all of that. Live in the moment and we'll see what happens after. So, what if you lose your job or fail your class or lose your diploma? Living in the moment, that is all that matters. That right there is the worst possible advice you could give to someone. Over the course of the past 3 years, I've been called a nostalgia merchant more than I've been called my own name. The term nostalgia merchant is a word used to refer to someone who at times is so caught up with their past that they tend to disregard the present. When I talk about my future university applications, getting a job, doing well for myself, I get slammed with the nerd emoji. So, why is it that we disdain the past, dread the future, yet glorify the present, a mere element of time, the meaning of which we truly do not even know of? Let's start by discussing what the present really means. Originally, the word is meant to be a mere reference point between the past and the future. Yet, people interpret it as maybe this hour, this day, this week, this month, or maybe even this year. However, the more flexible the definition of the present becomes, the more it contradicts its own notion of being any different from the successive future or the preceding past. Think of time as a train journey. We move so quickly that pinpointing an exact location to an exact millisecond becomes impossible. What does that make time? Not something we experience per se, but rather a concept to divide the past and the future. Whenever I've buried myself under textbooks or been so stressed that I have to keep deadlines or meet my responsibilities, the most common advice I've been met with is, live in the moment, let go of your responsibilities, relieve yourself from stress, and we'll see what happens after. However, in the society that we live in, the idea of giving up is a utopian luxury. When you're facing an attack from a tiger, would you tell your blood vessels to take a chill pill and stop releasing adrenaline? When it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals and Michael Jordan has the final possession, would you tell him, hey man, this basketball thing is nice and you're good at it and all, but I think you should really try and meditate and take in the air of the moment instead of trying to hit the game-winning shot? Or try telling that one guy from 2013 to buy a pair of shoes instead of making a long-term investment. Simply put, the scope of happiness and enjoyment does not exist when everything falls apart. When the comfort of putting food on the table and a roof to live under is threatened, is it enjoyable to let go of your responsibilities? The idea of taking a break and just going wherever life takes you is a utopian luxury that not a lot of us can afford. Buying a plane ticket to the Bahamas and living out the rest of your life there is not an attainable prospect. And those of us who are able to do such things face a far, far greater detriment of complacency. The crux of the matter, as I see it, is that we often try to push this scintillating narrative as if it's some kind of universal law that fits everyone just perfectly. However, this blatant oversimplification of advice is not only false at times, but also counterproductive when given on the wrong end. One who doesn't particularly relish the parts of life that another considers enjoyable feels as if they've accomplished less or that their lives mean less, solely because they prioritize something beyond the contemporary. Now, I'm not trying to say that smelling flowers and writing poems on a hot tropical day at the beach, while everything else falls apart, is not enjoyable. But not a lot of us derive pleasure from just indulging in those things. Let me give you the perfect example. I stand here. No! Forget about me. Let's talk about you. All of you got up at 6 a.m. in the morning, drank a cup of coffee, and commuted to this venue, which isn't exactly a 10-minute walk from your house, to watch a TED Talk. So, why did you do all of that? Is it because you enjoy listening to TED Talks? When I say enjoy, I don't mean excited or thrilled. I mean really laughing and kicking and taking it in as if you're watching an Adam Sandler movie. I know that's not true because I've lived with myself for 16 years now and I know that I couldn't tell a funny joke to save my life. But that's fine. You're here because you want to learn something new, take away some information you've never heard of before, and be challenged in ways you haven't been before. And you're not doing that so you enjoy yourself, you're doing that for your future, to become a better version of yourself. Do not dwell on the past, they say. Absolutely, I agree. It is futile to unnecessarily dwell on a past failure. Or in my case, the blonde face. But we don't talk about that. However, is it right to say that one should forget about the past? If that were the case, what becomes of us? Our skills, personalities, relationships, knowledge, ideas, all of that just ceases to exist if we forgot our past. Indeed, the blonde phase was a crucial mistake in my life, but it brought me to the most important phase of my life, the long-haired phase. Maybe I really am a nostalgia merchant. But this little thing we call by the name of happiness, this feeling, this sensation, it isn't an outcome of living in the present. It is a product derived from one, the recollection of your most pleasant memories, and the thrill in knowing that you get to continue on this journey of life. The human mind is inherently in an active search for fulfillment and contentment. And complacency just cannot let it obtain that ultimate goal. The strongest argument raised in favor of living in the moment is, life is a journey, and every moment of it must be cherished. Indeed, life is a journey and every moment is special. But what is a journey, if not for the destination? Thank you.